This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on, and welcome to Take on the World with
Johnny
and Mike D and the podcast therapy dog, Coco Jean.
She's looking for food.
She is. She's
I
looking.
feel bad, but I don't want to get her to the squirts.
She got some of that hot sauce. She called it the squirts anyway. It was on that piece that got dropped. So here we are once again. It is.
Whoa, you're right there.
I'm about to die. Some of that hot sauce, like just hit me.
Can we just like do a quick promo for these hot sauces?
We can. They don't owe us nothing.
I know, but okay. So this is the first. I came over to Mike's house, and we usually like to eat sausage and cheese, right?
Sausage, cheese, or some kind of smoked meat.
Hot ring bologna. And so I bought some sausage and cheese, and we came down to record
In the dungeon.
I said, grab some crackers and hot sauce. He goes, what hot sauce? I said, surprise me. So he brings down these three. Yeah, probably not gonna pick this up.
You can just get closer to the camera.
Oh boy, oh boy.
That's extreme regret.
Extremely. That's the first one I had. And like it dumped out on my cracker and my sausage and cheese. And I was like, oh fuck it.
Yeah. If you're doing it on crackers and sausage, a dot will do you.
A dot will do, not a dab's too far. And just to let you know, this has a skull with a scorpion coming out of its mouth, holding a Carolina Reaper pepper in one mouth or one claw, and a Trinidad scorpion pepper in the other claw. Okay, so that was really hot. It probably took about 20 minutes for that to dissipate.
And then our favorite.
This stuff is a house favorite.
Nathan loves that one.
I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of blurry.
Yeah.
This is from the Pepper Palace, which I believe is in Tennessee. Yes, Saraville, Tennessee. This is called Fusion, a Reaper and garlic hot sauce.
And that one is it's got a little bite to it.
It's hot,
but it's more subtle.
Yeah,
and it's like you get more flavor with that one. You get to taste the garlic and your food.
It doesn't burn for 20 minutes.
Nope.
And then, well, actually, let me back this up with. I was down in Delaware. I found a warehouse on the strip of Route 1, and it was called the Pepper Palace. And you walk in there, and it's like a warehouse full of hot sauces, salsas, you name it, barbecue sauces. There's little dipping cups. You can sample everything. And why I got this was I was like, yo, my buddy likes hot sauce, and I want to get something that he'll like. And I had something in my hand, and the guy takes it out of my hand, puts it on the shelf, and he goes, "Are you trying to kill him?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, you just want something like him and his son and his family will enjoy. And he gave me this,
and we enjoy it.
So great, perfect,
absolutely, good call.
Yeah.
And then we have the tiger sauce,
which
is more of a sweet heat,
very sweet.
I would say probably Oriental style.
I would saute that with. I would saute a meat and then put that on.
It says for meat, seafood, and anything else that can stand up to sweet heat.
Yeah.
This is good. This is my favorite. And the extreme regret, if you put as much as he put on his cracker in a pot of chili, it's perfect.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, because it did have a really good. It wasn't like like knock your face off.
Until
It was just super hot.
Until it sat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be singing this something different. I might be singing a different tune tomorrow night. But yeah, I think this super hot extreme regret would be perfect in a chili, any kind of stew dish that you like that's hot.
Now, let's be clear. None of these are sponsors of this wonderful program. But
It's just our personal experience.
It's shit what we like, man.
Yeah, shit we
so,
like.
This is a sponsor of the program. This is the last of my glass of.
It's the last of my glass.
This is called Natetoberfest. This is a home brew. I made this because my son turns 21 on Tuesday, and this is my favorite style of beer. And he has sipped my beer in the past, and he decided that he also likes the Marzen style. So I wasn't supposed to tap this till his birthday, but I couldn't wait any longer. Very good. I love this beer.
Is there going to be any left for his birthday?
Yes, I got 5.5 gallons.
Is there going to be any left for his birthday?
There might be a gallon gone. Excellent beer. If you go back in the annals of history here for Take on the World, we did brew a double Oktoberfest a few years ago, and it came out fucking horrible.
Wait, no, was that the pretzel beer?
No, the pretzel beer is the one I made last year.
Oh, the one with.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. Ooh.
Yeah, that was bad.
But then you made a comeback and you brewed the pretzel beer.
And
it was another Marzen style.
Yep. I brewed the Belgian strong ale.
Yeah, which I think you have kind of perfected here.
This one is much like the one that I entered in a contest and won first place with.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if I went out to a bar, I would order that. Legit.
Oh, absolutely.
Multiple times.
Yes. I will say even there is a professional brewer that I know who said that it is very, very, very good. And he would not blow smoke up my behind. So, we're going to talk about the Deluxe Edition. We are part of Deluxe Edition Network. It's a group of podcasters. There's something for everybody's taste. You want to check them out at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. And while you're there, you're going to check out the podcast of the month or Spotlight podcast. I call it something different every month, so I'm going to throw both in there. This month, for the month of October, it's Horror October. So we have the Graveyard Club, and we have
my favorite time of year.
I know, mine too. Now the good horror movies are coming on. So, and Terror Tuesday. Terror Tuesday is an Instagram only podcast.
I'm not sure how that works. How does that work?
You just go live.
I don't know anything about it.
I don't go live because we have a lot of shit we got to cut out.
I think. Oh, okay. So it's all. I got you. It's all live. Yeah, that might not work for us. We'll probably be living in a bridge down by the river.
Yeah,
in a van down
by the bridge, down by the river. So make sure you check out the Spotlight podcast this month. I will say all of the podcasts on the Deluxe Edition Network are great podcasts at high quality production. And I enjoy watching and listening to them all. And I think you will too. So check them out. So we're going to take a short break to refill our beer glasses. And then we'll be right back with our topic of the day. We're here to talk about Copper John's Beard Company. I bought some of this stuff and I love it. Everybody has their favorite beard care products, but if you want to save a few bucks, use TOTW 10 at checkout or use the quick link below and buy some of this great stuff. Like,
look at that beautifully tamed bear mane, so soft. And you know, my beard, if you want to call it that, it's more like pubes on my face.
See, he doesn't use it.
It gets wiry. So if I can just tame that a little bit, put more Copper Johns on there, and it's perfect.
And even though I have thick hair, when I put it on, my hair is nice and soft.
Yes.
Softer. You want to touch it, Johnny? Go ahead. Don't touch me.
Are you looking for a place for all things horror and don't know where to go? Well, you've came to the right place, my friend. We are the Graveyard Club podcast. For all your horror needs, visit us on YouTube and Spotify, and you can follow us over on Instagram at the Graveyard Club Pod. See you there.
Ciao.
We are back, and we're going to jump right into our topic for today. Keeping current with things that are going on now. You came up with this. And,
well, what year was this? That he's doing all this. He's bringing this to light.
I think it just came. Well, the interview was just recent.
Well, that's what I thought.
That because there's just a few interviews up with him, and they're doing some kind of movie or something.
Okay.
Documentary. I don't know. This is Nathaniel Kraft, also known as Boone. He is a former hitman accused of killing 30 people. Now, I'm going to say, is this fact or fiction?
That's the first thing that you said to me when I came on. When we just think about the episode, and you're like, I think it's bullshit.
I think a lot of what he says is bullshit. I don't know. I could be wrong, but times and dates don't match up for me properly.
Well, that's kind of big. I mean,
yeah.
Like if I served in World War II, you might want to kind of be born around the same time.
Yeah. Well, not born. You want to be born 15, 16 years before.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So we'll get to that, but I don't know. There are so many things that are unverifiable and some things he refused to talk about. So this guy's on this interview saying how he killed people, but he won't talk about this or that or the other thing. No, I won't talk about that. So he was born March 25th, 1957. Now keep that in mind. 1957, Detroit, Michigan. You never find out what his parents' names are. You never find out what their profession was. You know he has siblings, but you have no idea who they are. There's nothing specific about him except for his younger brother, who I think was nicknamed Boo. Suppose he was killed while he was in the car with his bigger brother.
Boone. Or a different brother.
No, Boone.
Boone was driving and Boo got killed?
Boone and his little brother were both passengers in the car and his brother got killed. If I heard it right. I think by the time he got to that part of the story, I was really not paying attention to a lot of what he did. Why do you gotta keep fucking with it?
I'm trying to make it my own.
Every time you try to make it your own, it flops.
Dude.
You got a limp wiener there.
I was like, it's tight as fuck. It just like slipped down like there was like nothing holding it.
You go crank that till you break it.
Probably.
Good thing we have two more.
Jesus Christ.
So,
God forbid.
So his education is also questionable. He may or may not have been a high school graduate. So far, this is a boring fucking episode because you know nothing about him.
So he may or may not have been a person.
Apparently, he had a hard childhood. He talked about being involved in selling heroin at age 9. And when he was asked, "Hey, where are your parents during all this? You know, where were they?" Oh, they was working. What? And they just let a 9-year-old run the streets of Chicago selling heroin.
Well, I mean, now I can see that. Bro, you got to hustle, dude.
Well, it is. That's 57.
What I envision
that's
is
1966.
You got parents that are working probably some shit job, maybe at the auto industry. They ain't making ends meet. Ain't making ends meet, and you know, Hey, you got to go hustle, dude.
But 9 years old.
Yeah.
He also claimed to commit his first murder at age 9 or be involved in a murder at age 9. The story he was telling is they were slinging their heroin and they went back to the guy who pays them. He called him an accountant. And they said, look, you gotta break off a bigger piece for us. You know, we want more money for what we're doing. We're moving product. We want a little bit more money. And the dude looked at him and said, I will beat your ass. And at 9 years old, this kid goes, that's one. One what? He goes, we just want to get paid what we're worth. He goes, I said I will beat your ass. He goes, that's two. And the dude started to say something else, and they popped him and killed him. Took all his shit, buried him in the backyard. So he's burying a dude in the backyard at 9 years old. He steals all his stuff. He said they must not have buried him too deep because they stayed at his house until the stench was so bad that they could no longer stay there. It just doesn't.
I don't know, man. Have you seen like what's going on in the world today with kids and this and that?
But this is 1966.
I don't care. Like 1966 in Chicago was crazy.
Hold on, not Chicago. Did I say Chicago?
You said
Detroit.
I always get those two mixed up.
I do too because they're both shitholes.
But Detroit, like, I can totally see this playing out.
Really?
Yes. Look at Philadelphia. Look at Detroit now. Look at Michigan now. Like, it's fucking crazy.
But kids back then were afraid of the cops. They're not now. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems a little.
I think if you're
seems a little out on the edge for me.
If you're poor, you're hustling. Like, it's like look at the facility that we inherited and how we couldn't do anything because they were always said like the kids are like kids in a correctional facility. They're like the worst fucking kids ever.
Oh yeah.
You can't do anything.
No.
And they know that.
Yeah.
So I think so dude, I've seen so many videos of like babies in I always say babies, but like kids in diapers, and they're fucking screaming at a cop who comes to solve a domestic dispute. And so I don't think this is far fetched.
So this is when he was 9. So then they jumped to in the interview that I saw that at some time he served in the army during Vietnam. And he was rumored to have been in some special forces of some sort. But he would have been 7 years old when the Gulf of Tonkin took place.
This is where I have a problem, was what you were telling me, that right here.
So I remember watching the last of the troops pull out of Vietnam. I was 5 years old. And
you had 5 bodies.
I had 5 bodies.
And slinging heroin.
Yeah, slinging heroin. And I ran to a beer distributorship too. Like, I just don't see it. Anyway, he would have been 18 when the final troops, 17 or 18 when the final troops were pulled out of Vietnam in 1975. So the only thing I will give him is the interviewer said, hey, when you were in the army, were you special forces or something? Because there was rumors that that guys were being sent back and you were being sent in. And he goes, I can't talk about that. So if they're saying in 75 when guys were coming out that he went in with the special forces, maybe. But if he went in the military, just say he went in at 17. He goes in at 17. He does his boot camp. He does his infantry school. And then he goes to special forces school, whatever special force he was in. That's got to be almost a year's worth of training before he goes.
I would think so too.
And his first assignment is to go into a covert operation in a war that we just pulled out of. I don't know. That doesn't add up for me. And that's where, when I heard that, I from there on, I treated everything else with skepticism.
I mean, you know, for me, I feel sometimes that, yeah, my first instinct is like, yeah, this is bullshit. But on the other hand, the government has its tentacles in every fucking thing in the world. Don't worry about it. And would it be uncommon for them to like use these guys as like cannon fodder? I know.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Here's my train of thought. If the government is going to send troops back into a place that we have signed a treaty with and pulled out of, you would think they would send experienced guys in who, if they got caught, wouldn't like be the first thing to do is crack under pressure. You know what I mean? If he's an 18-year-old kid, he hasn't seen shit in life, other than the streets of Detroit, and maybe that made him a tough guy, and that's fine. But
I mean, sometimes I feel like our government takes poor people and sends them into war just to get rid of them.
I don't think that. I think that they exploit people of lower means to get them in the military. They entice them with the benefits of being a military person because they have no other choice other than to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids.
When all the pieces are there to be picked up, where's the great government that sent them there? Nowhere to be found.
I went in the Navy instead of going in the Marine Corps because the Marine Corps, what they wanted me to do, I would have had to go 2 years of college first. And for me, it was just I needed to get out of the situation I was in. So I went in the Navy. So now here's something else. After he killed somebody at 9, at some point he was put in juvenile detention. Supposedly he spent 4 years in juvenile detention.
The timeline is not adding up for me.
No. There's 30 years from the time he was 9 till he was 18. That's what I'm seeing.
Right. Yeah.
So in 9 years, he's got about 30 years worth of stories.
Right.
Also, the other thing is at that age, the age he was, when he turned 18, he would no longer he was no longer required to register for the draft because the draft had ended because they were pulling the troops out. So if he's this kid on the streets of Chicago making all this money, slinging his dope, why would he go in the military?
Didn't he have some kind of arrangement? That's what I was even understanding. They had some kind of arrangement for kids like that where you were fuck up, like you either go to jail or the military.
That did happen a lot during World War II. It happened a lot during Vietnam. It happened a lot during Korea. However, it's still the end of the war.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't know.
The timing just doesn't wrap up for me.
No, it doesn't. Totally does not wrap at all.
After he gets out of juvie and after he does his stint as a fucking Green Beret,
that is so hard to.
That's the part.
How old would he have been as a Green Beret?
I don't know if he was a Green Beret. It just said some. Actually,
whatever.
Green Beret's Air Force, isn't it?
No, it's Army.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
Army sucks.
Thank
you for all the service.
Usually, you see like a Green Beret guy. He's like an older, experienced, war veteran. Not to say that's what they all are, but I can't imagine a 9-year-old kid as a Green Beret.
9-year-old.
I don't know. Like, but okay, let's go. I don't want to be jump ahead here.
So during the 80s, Detroit and the rest of the country was going through the huge crack epidemic. Like crack was everywhere in the 80s. That's all you heard about.
Like, I feel like, honestly, my honest opinion is I feel like this was the government's way to get rid of black people. I don't want to. I know maybe not necessarily black people, but getting rid of a certain genre of people or sect of people that they didn't feel.
I will go as far as saying is poor people have been exploited by coaxing them into the military. That's as far as I'll go.
Sure, I feel like it's cannon fodder.
Well, in any battle, you're going to lose. You're going to have casualties.
Well, absolutely, but you know, I don't know. I mean,
so the crack epidemic is at its height. Nate Boone began working with a gang called Best Friends Gang. Now, during the interview, it kind of slipped out that he was one of the people who started the gang, but they didn't out and out say that. Like it was kind of like they breezed past it and they didn't go back to it. So I don't know if he started this gang, if he's a co-founder, what the deal was, or they were just trying to make you think he started the gang. I don't know, but he was involved in this gang. And if you go and you research Nathaniel Boone Craft, you're going to find the same series of information on almost every site.
So he would have been what, in his late 20s?
In the 80s?
Yeah.
Let's see, 18.
You think he said he's born in 57?
He'd been 18 in 75. 22 in 1980. Mid to late.
So okay.
20s.
He's mid to late 20s. Mid to late 20s, who has this past behind him.
Yes.
He was Army, whatever, Green Beret.
And I keep seeing a picture always pops up with him on the cover of like Soldier of Fortune or something.
Really?
I don't know if it's a fake picture. I don't even know if it's him for sure. But when you research him and you go to images, that picture pops up everywhere.
Oh, it's so weird. Like, why is this happening?
I don't know. So that if you research it, there's scarce information. All the websites say pretty much the same thing, and it all comes from this interview and the documentary.
Like you would think that like a kid who was selling crack had already 3 bodies on his belt by the time of 9. Did whatever, joined the Green Berets. He's most likely probably not going to wind up a war hero. Would you agree? Maybe, I don't know.
He also,
and then revert to what he's doing now.
He also did tough man competitions, and he claims to have TKO'd Butterbean.
Okay.
So the interview on YouTube has the information that cannot be verified, and likely I don't know if this timeline is even possible.
This guy's a farce.
So let's go to the Best Friends Gang. The Best Friends Gang in Detroit, 1980, is a notorious criminal organization.
Which is legit.
Yes, it was legit. It did exist. For their involvement in various legal activities. Here are some bullet points about them. Their formation. Best Friend Gang was formed in the early 1980s, Detroit, Michigan. The gang was led by a charismatic, ruthless leader whose identity remains mostly unknown due to the secretive nature of the organization. So they had a shadowy figure at the head of the organization.
This might have been the guy.
So it was probably
what he was a 9-year-old Green Beret.
It was Dr. Evil or something.
Really?
The gang was primarily involved in drug trafficking, particularly distribution of crack cocaine, which was a significant problem in Detroit during that era. It was a significant problem in the United States during that era. They controlled several neighborhoods in Detroit and had a stronghold on drug distribution in those areas. They had a very violent reputation. The gang was infamous for its extreme violence and ruthlessness. They were responsible for like a whole bunch of murders, drive-by shootings, turf wars with rival gangs, especially the Young Boys Incorporated and Chamber Brothers gangs. So they had these gang wars with them, and the blood was running in the streets in Detroit. Okay, there is something very interesting about this. Wait till I get to it. There was rumored to be ties to law enforcement, that law enforcement were either paid off or corrupt in a way that would help the gang.
Huh, that would never happen.
And that made it difficult for the police to dismantle the organization, especially not in Detroit. So the decline by the late 80s, early 90s, law enforcement efforts to combat the gang intensified, leading to several high-profile arrests and convictions. This marked the decline of the Best Friends gang. So when they say law enforcement, I'm thinking FBI, something out of state, a federal task force of some sort.
Yeah, anything you got to think too that the whole time there, anything gang related would have been a higher, not your local police per se.
Right. So the gang's legacy is one of violence, drug trafficking, destruction in Detroit. It serves as a grim reminder of the challenges faced by law enforcement combating organized crime. The Best Friends gang and other Detroit-based gangs have been portrayed in various films, documentaries, books, contributing to their enduring presence in pop culture.
Huh. I'd never heard of them until I watched the thing and I told you.
Now, I've seen other stuff about Best Friends gang because what the fuck kind of name is that? So, not long after he joined the gang, he was raking in $50,000 a hit for killing people, not only for the Best Friends gang, but also for other drug kingpins in the area. Kraft had little to no remorse, and he saw his killings as just a business transaction. It wasn't personal; it was business.
Let me ask you this. Little side note. So, from all the research I've done, and I'll totally relate this to this. So you have the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski, well-known hitman, killed tons of people. He was rumored to have worked with the mob. Then you have Michael Franzese come out, well-known in the mob, did time, came out, still making podcasts to this day. He goes, when we all took an oath that we could do something, take care of business, why would we hire an outside guy to do a hit for $50,000, $30,000, whatever it was, when we can use our own guys to do the same thing for nothing? That's what was expected of you.
I don't know.
So,
and
put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I honestly think $50,000 for a hit back then is a lot of money.
Fuck yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, like, these mob guys were saying,
yeah,
we don't need to pay you. Our own guys will do this for free because of the family oath. So I'm sure this structure was set up the same way. Like, what the fuck are we going to pay some outside guy when we could just hire some young buck? You know, he'll do it for like $20.
Yeah.
You know, and get his name in there, you know, make his bones.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But
anyways, just something to chew on.
He was known as a dangerous and ruthless person in the Detroit underworld. He was quoted by saying, "Someone pays me to hit you, I'm going to hit you. Don't get it wrong. I believe in money. Friendship? No, I don't have friends."
This guy kind of sounds like maybe a serial killer to me. Like, he was killing people, but he necessarily wasn't that much involved with this organization. He was just saying that, you know, I don't know, for whatever reason, but he was just psycho killing people.
He was known for getting his mark, and he was also known for not getting caught. He prided himself on not getting caught. Well, okay, then maybe you were good at your job. It was rumored he was not only an assassin for drug kingpins, but also for the police, taking contracts for anyone who could afford to pay his price. But here's the thing, dude. Why would the cops need a hitman?
Well, if they're corrupt as fuck, yeah, I would assume you would need a hitman.
Like if a cop was that corrupt that they're going to hire a hitman, they could dispose of anybody without problem.
Yeah, they have a lot more legal avenues than
They already have no fucking morals if they're corrupt. So it says he had a mercenary mentality, and his military training made him a master at his craft. You know, when he was a Green Beret in Vietnam.
World War II, Nam.
So as the authorities closed in on the Best Friends gang, they also closed in on Kraft. Kraft chose to flip on the organization in order to get a better prison sentence. He confessed to 30 murders and then testified against the members of the Best Friend gang. In return, he was given immunity for his murders. So this is saying he was given immunity for his murders. And then there's one report that says he spent 17 to 20 years in federal prison. There's another report that says 17 years in federal prison for informants. And then another report that he spent 19 years in witness protection. Huge difference between all three.
So by all counts, this guy should be like
900 years old. Yeah. So this is the part that I found very interesting. Allegedly, Kraft was offered $125,000 by Gil Hill to kill a drug trafficker named Richard Wershey Jr., aka White Boy Rick. And this is a quote from Kraft. "I was told to kill White Boy Rick," he said. $125,000. I'll make sure you get it as long as this boy is dead, he was told. His key word was dead. So do you know who Gil Hill is?
No.
Okay. It may not mean anything to you, but he was an inspector in Detroit police. He was also the president of the city council. He was also an actor who played Inspector Todd in Beverly Hills Cop movies. It was the only acting he did. He was offered other roles. He didn't take them, but he did do all 3 Beverly Hills Cops movies. Do you remember Inspector Todd? He was a guy who was always yelling at Eddie Murphy.
I watched the movies. I don't remember him.
Yeah, I always remembered Inspector Todd. I always did. So Gil was a former Detroit homicide cop, president of city council. He was also an inspector in Detroit. And I already mentioned this, that he spent 17 years in prison. And then another report says time in witness protection program, blah, 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 blah. So after he was released from whatever, one said when he got out of the witness relocation program, one said when he was released from prison. He moved back to Detroit, where he initially received some threats, but those threats have since died down. Watching the YouTube interview has some great entertaining stories. Not much is verifiable where I research. And by his own admission, he spent much of his life in jail. So I don't know he had time to do any of this shit. And
well,
I'm going to tell you,
you know how people lie.
I cut my research short because my bullshit meter was going off the fucking charts.
Well, yeah, when you're nine years old serving in the Army Rangers in Vietnam. It's like,
yeah.
Dead ringer.
I mean, 9 years old when the Gulf of Tonkin took place. The pull out of Vietnam, he was 18 or 19. Or 17 or 18. I don't know.
Hey, listen, man. The Army don't take retards. Well, I'm sure they take some retards, but
Actually, I watched a video that during Vietnam, they were intentionally taking mentally handicapped people into the army.
Like Forrest Gump.
Yes. But basically it's cannon fodder the way you said.
Yeah.
I just watched a video on that the other day.
And that's sad. Like what our government would consider unworthy, like minorities, like people that are normal people like me and you, but these rich assholes are so fucked up in the head. They got millions of dollars. And like, wow, well, these people don't obviously are stupid. Well, no, they're not, you know, but they consider us. I think I would fall into that category.
Stupid?
Yeah. Like,
No, you're not stupid.
Well, I know I'm not stupid, but these idiots would think I am.
I might call you a dumbass from time to time, but I don't think you're stupid.
You know, and just, you know, the whole thing with the world population, they want the whole thing down, dumb the numbers down, get rid of people.
Oh, you talk about New World Order shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been going on forever.
Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy.
But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, that's not one I want to get into.
So, I mean, anyways, this guy sounds like he's full of shit. He might have killed one or two, maybe not 30. But like I said before, like when you have a mob organization, you know, you take an oath to go into this organization. Like, you have to do something for us.
Oh, yeah.
That will tell us that you are a part of this organization.
So they have something to hold over your head.
Yes. And that means killing somebody.
I go down, you go down.
They will not admit that. So you join the mob, you got to kill somebody. So why would we hire somebody else for $50,000 when we say, hey, Mike, you know, you're going to be counting. Like, you got to kill this guy or we'll kill you.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So it's like they're not in the business of losing money. They're in the business of making money.
Yeah. So I find the whole thing hinky.
Yeah. And then,
so well, here's what I'm going to put this out there. Nate Boonecraft, if you want to call me and clear your name and come on the show and convince me that none of this is bullshit, tell me where my theories are wrong. You just get a hold of us with our Instagram or leave a comment here, whatever, and message me on Facebook, whatever. I don't care. I'll message you back. We'll set it up. You come on the show and you tell me how I'm wrong.
We got 2 open spots.
Yes, we do. We could do it remote.
Preferably.
Preferably remote. With no knives or guns. Because I don't want them saying, that's one.
You're 31, motherfucker.
So we took on Nate Boonecraft, former hitman accused of killing 30 people. Now you go take on the world.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.